In the Clone Wars, we saw Anakin Skywalker journey to Mortis, a realm where the Force itself took shape. He was tested, tempted, and shown visions of the dark future ahead, visions of betrayal, of fire, of the Jedi Temple burning. But the Father erased those memories. In one instant, everything changed. The truth was hidden, and Anakin's fate was sealed. But what if he didn't? What if Anakin carried those visions back with him? Every scream, every betrayal, every glimpse of the Emperor's true face. In this version of the story, that's exactly what happens. And nothing turns out the same. Let's begin. Anakin sits in silence aboard the shuttle, watching the stars pass as Mortis fades behind him. His eyes are shut, but there's no peace. Instead, he sees the Jedi Temple in flames, children crying as they back away from him. He hears Obi-Wan shouting in anger, calling his name with venom. And over it all, a shadow, one man pulling the strings, the Dark Lord. His face hidden, but his presence was as familiar as a heartbeat. Obi-Wan notices the tension. "You've been rather quiet, Anakin. Something troubling you?" Anakin hesitates, searching for the right words. Finally, he admits, "I saw things. Horrible things. The temple burning, me, with a saber in hand. The younglings, they were afraid of me. And you, Obi-Wan, you were my enemy." Obi-Wan frowns, brushing it off. "Visions meant to confuse you. Mortis played tricks on all of us. None of it was real." But Anakin shakes his head. It didn't feel like tricks. It felt like the Force itself speaking. It spoke of a Dark Lord in the shadows. Someone within the Republic. I couldn't see his face, but he's there, watching. That admission changes everything. Obi-Wan doesn't argue. He remembers Count Dooku's warning on Geonosis, the claim that a Sith Lord controlled the Senate. The Council dismissed it as deception, but now, with Anakin describing the same thing, doubt takes root. When they return, Obi-Wan and Anakin report to the Jedi Council. They keep it quiet, but Yoda and Mace listen closely. At last, the Council agrees. Perhaps the Sith Lord really is hiding in plain sight. Quietly, they begin to investigate. Senators are watched, generals scrutinized. The noose tightens, little by little, toward the Chancellor's inner circle. The war rages on. Battles flare across the galaxy. But inside the Republic, new cracks form. When the Jedi Temple is bombed, suspicion turns inward. Ahsoka is accused, dragged through a humiliating trial. But instead of walking away in anger, she is proven innocent when Barriss Offee confesses the crime herself. Barriss declares that the Jedi have strayed, serving war instead of peace, blinded by Sith manipulation. Most dismiss her as a traitor, but Anakin doesn't. He follows her down the corridors after her sentencing. Commander Stone and his troopers lead her away in binders. Anakin steps forward, voice calm but firm. "I'll take her from here. The Council has asked me to oversee her interrogation." The clones obey, leaving him alone with Barriss and the gunship. The engines hum as the ship lifts off. Anakin sits across from her, eyes sharp. "Why, Barriss? Why turn on your own order?" She meets his gaze without flinching. "Because someone had to. The Jedi have lost their way. We were supposed to be guardians of peace, not generals in a war we never should have fought. There's something darker at work here, pulling all of us like puppets." Anakin leans forward, voice low. "You feel it too, that shadow in the Senate, in the Temple. It's here, isn't it?" Barriss nods. "I've felt it for months. A presence just beyond reach, twisting the Force. If you've felt it too, then you know we can't ignore it." Anakin studies her, the weight of Mortis still heavy in his thoughts. At last, he says quietly, "Don't worry, you may have opened the Council's eyes more than you realize." When the ship lands, Barriss is led into her cell. But Anakin walks away, disturbed. Her words echo his own fears, and for the first time, he's not alone in feeling them. Not long after, another crisis emerges. A clone trooper murders a Jedi without warning. Fives uncovers the truth. The inhibitor chip's buried inside every clone's head. A secret control measure. He tries to warn the Jedi, but when he brings his evidence to the Chancellor, Palpatine declares him a traitor. Soon, Fives is hunted. Anakin and Rex track him down to a bar in the Undercity. They find him there, muttering into his drink, a blaster shaking in his hand. He leaps up when they enter. "Stay back, I know the truth now. The chips, they're turning us into something we're not, they're using us." Rex tries to calm him. If General Skywalker says he's here to help, he means it? Anakin steps forward, lowering his saber. I believe you, Fives. I've seen shadows of what's coming. This is part of it. But if you want to stop it, you need to trust us. Put the blaster down. Fives hesitates, then slowly slides the weapon across the table. Relief flickers across his face. So you're not here to kill me? Anakin shakes his head. No, I'm here to make sure your truth isn't buried. But we have to be careful. You and Rex will investigate quietly. No one else can know. But before they can escape, Commander Fox storms in with soldiers. Blasters raised. General Skywalker, step away from the traitor. Anakin's saber ignites instantly. Not gonna happen. Blaster fire erupts. Then, a blur of blue, the hum of another lightsaber. Obi-Wan arrives, cutting through the smoke. Together, the two Jedi form a wall of light, deflecting every bolt. Rex and Fives fire stun rounds, covering their retreat. At last, a smoke grenade fills the bar, and they vanish into the alleys. When they finally regroup, Obi-Wan looks grim. Shaak Ti told me what Fives uncovered. We can't ignore it. If the Chancellor is involved, this may be the opening we've been waiting for. The Jedi don't yet have proof, but the circle tightens further around Palpatine. Time passes, but the tension doesn't ease. The Republic still trusts its leader, but within the Order suspicion festers. Some even whisper that Count Dooku himself might hold the key. Against the Council's wishes, Obi-Wan secretly reaches out. To everyone's surprise, Dooku answers. He admits the truth. Darth Sidious has been his master all along. The Clone Wars, the Separatists, the Senate, they were all pieces of Sidious's design. Anakin's blood runs cold. On Mortis, he had seen Sidious's shadow without a face. Now that face is revealed. The Jedi move quietly, preparing for what's to come. The war reaches its climax. Dooku lures Sidious into a trap during the Battle of Coruscant. Jedi Masters Shaak Ti, Roran Korab, and Fal Mudama guard the Chancellor in a bunker, but General Grievous crashes in with his Magna Guards. The battle rages. The Jedi fight fiercely, blades flashing in the dark. And then, Anakin and Obi-Wan arrive, this time not as Sidious's pawns, but as his executioners. When the Chancellor sees them alongside Dooku, his calm mask falters. Why are you with him? Anakin ignites his saber. His voice is steel. Because we know the truth. Or should I call you Darth Sidious? Palpatine's eyes narrow, his disguise finally broken, his lightsaber snaps to life. So be it. And the galaxy trembles as the duel begins. The bunker shakes as General Grievous lunges forward, 4 sabers spinning in a deadly blur. Shaak Ti and her fellow Jedi intercept him, while the Magna Guards close in. Sparks erupt as metal strikes plasma, the sound of combat echoing like thunder through the chamber. But then the shadows twist. Count Dooku leaps into the fray not as an enemy, but as an ally. His blade clashes with Palpatine's, the Sith Lord's fury finally revealed. Traitor! Palpatine snarls, his face contorted with rage. Dooku meets him stroke for stroke. No, Sidious, I was your pawn. But not anymore. Obi-Wan and Anakin arrive in time to see everything. The Jedi Masters fending off Grievous, Dooku battling Sidious, the Chancellor's calm mask shattered. For Anakin, it's confirmation of everything Mortis showed him. The shadow is no longer faceless, the manipulator is no longer hidden. Darth Sidious is real, and he's standing before him. Anakin ignites his saber. It's over! Sidious whirls, lightning erupting from his fingers. Blue arcs fill the bunker, throwing Anakin back against the wall. His body trembles from the shock, but he doesn't fall. He's felt this before, in his visions. He pushes through it, blade catching the lightning and hurling it back. Sparks dance along the ceiling. The chamber descends into chaos. Shaak Ti battles desperately against Grievous's spinning blades. Obi-Wan deflects blaster fire from swarming Magna Guards. Dooku and Sidious clash in a storm of hate and betrayal, their blades flashing so fast they blur. For Anakin, time slows. Mortis echoes in his mind the father's voice, warning him that balance was his burden to carry. The son's temptation, whispering that fear of loss, would drive him into darkness. And the daughter's reminder that even suffering had to be faced, not denied. This is his moment. Anakin surges forward, his strikes raining down on Sidious with unrelenting speed. Every blow is fueled not by fear, not by rage, but by clarity. Sidious staggers, surprised. He expected anger. He expected desperation. But Anakin fights with something else entirely: balance. Dooku presses the advantage. Side by side with his former enemy, Anakin forces Sidious onto the defensive. The Sith Lord's fury grows, his snarls filling the air as lightning lashes out in wild arcs. But every burst is deflected, every trick countered. The others rally. Shakti and her companions pin Grievous against the wall. Obi-Wan slices through the Magna Guards, clearing the field. The tide is turning. And then, Sidious falters. A misstep, a flicker of weakness. Anakin seizes it, locking their blades together. Their eyes meet, blue and yellow clashing in the shadows. "You've been in my visions," Anakin growls. "Every death, every betrayal, it was you." Sidious bares his teeth. "And it will still be me. You can't escape it, boy. You were destined to fall." But Anakin shakes his head. "Not this time." With a roar, he disarms the Sith Lord, sending the crimson blade skittering across the floor. Obi-Wan pins Sidious with his saber. Dooku looms over him, face grim. And then, together, they strike. Palpatine's scream echoes through the chamber, cut short as his body crumples. The man who deceived the galaxy for decades lies broken at their feet. For a long moment, no one moves. The only sound is the hum of lightsabers, slowly powering down. It's over, or so it seems. The war doesn't end overnight. Palpatine's death shakes the Republic to its core. His supporters scramble to hide their ties, but the evidence is overwhelming. His secret programs, the inhibitor chips, the vast web of lies, all uncovered. The Jedi Council, reeling, moves quickly to fill the void. Padme Amidala is elected Chancellor, her reputation for honesty and compassion winning over a weary Senate. The war effort begins to wind down. Negotiations replace sieges. The people begin to hope again. And through it all, Anakin Skywalker stands at the center. Not as a fallen knight, not as Darth Vader, but as the man who stopped the darkness before it could consume him. Yet victory doesn't come without scars. The visions still haunt him. At night, Anakin dreams of Padme's death in 100 different ways. Accidents, assassinations, illness, the fear of losing her claws at him, whispering that no matter what he does, fate cannot be denied. He confesses these visions to the Council. Yoda listens carefully. "Fear of loss, young Skywalker, the shadow of attachment it is. But lie, your visions may not. Twisted, by the dark side they could be." Mace Windu, still skeptical, narrows his eyes. The Sith are gone, but the darkness may not have died with Sidious. If these visions are true, it could mean something or someone remains. Anakin leaves troubled. He can't shake the feeling that something beyond Palpatine lingers, something older and darker. And in the silence of meditation, he hears it again. A whisper. A memory from Mortis. The son's voice, promising chaos. Balance was never meant to be easy. Anakin throws himself into his work. With the teachings of Mortis still burning in his mind, he becomes more than a soldier. He becomes a healer, a builder, a guide. On Coruscant, shattered buildings rise again under his command. Citizens watch in awe as rubble clears itself from the streets, lifted by his power. Relief flows through entire districts thanks to his efforts. The people hail him as a hero. The Senate celebrates him. And Chancellor Amidala quietly thanks him every night. But not everyone celebrates. In the shadows, the sun stirs. Freed from Mortis by unknown allies, he begins whispering into the galaxy's dark corners. To Mandalorians who crave war. To surviving Sith cultists. To anyone who will listen, he offers power, vengeance, and chaos. And slowly, a storm gathers. The first sign comes at the Jedi Temple. Dreams ripple across the Order, visions of fire and shadow. The daughter herself appears, weakened and wounded, warning Anakin of her brother's escape. "The dagger," she whispers, pressing the ancient blade into his hand. "Only this can end him. Do not fail, Chosen One." Anakin accepts the burden. He calls Ahsoka to his side. Together, they depart from Mortis once more. What they find is not the vibrant, shifting world they left behind. Mortis is crumbling. The skies darken. The floating spires collapse into the void. Even the Force itself feels choked, poisoned. And at the heart of it all waits the sun. His form shifts between shadow and flesh, his eyes burning like coals. So the Father is dead, and now you sit in his place. Anakin grips the dagger. I didn't come here to rule, I came to finish this. The sun laughs, a sound like thunder. You think you can end me? Fool. I am the chaos within you, the rage you deny, the fear you hide. Strike me down, and you strike yourself. The battle begins. The duel tears through Mortis. Blue and red clash beneath the storm, sparks flying as lightning rips across the sky. Ahsoka joins the fight, darting around the sun's blows, her twin blades flashing. But the sun is relentless. His strikes shake the earth, his laughter echoing through the void. Anakin presses harder, every swing a test of will. Mortis itself responds, surging with energy. For a moment he feels himself slipping, the same temptation as before, anger, fear, the need to control. But then he remembers the Father's words. Balance, not darkness, not denial, balance. With a final cry, he drives the dagger into the sun's chest. The dark being freezes, his eyes wide in shock. For a moment, he almost looks human again. Then the light fades, and he collapses into shadow. Silence falls. Anakin lowers the dagger, breathing heavily. The daughter appears beside him, tears in her eyes. She kneels beside her fallen brother, whispering words too quiet to hear. Then she turns to Anakin. You've done what even my father could not. You've ended him, but the burden is not gone. It never will be. Anakin looks at the dagger in his hand. The weight of it feels heavier than any weapon he's ever held. Back on Coruscant, the war truly ends. The Separatists collapse without Sidious's control. The clones, freed of their inhibitor chips, are slowly reintegrated into the Republic. Chancellor Amidala begins dismantling emergency powers, restoring democracy piece by piece. The Jedi Order breathes again, not as generals, not as pawns, but as guardians. But for Anakin Skywalker, the journey is only beginning. Because Mortis has taught him the truth. The Force is never still, darkness will always return, and balance must always be fought for. The peace doesn't last. Not long after the Republic begins to rebuild, Coruscant is struck by terror once more. Fires erupt across the Jedi Temple. The Senate building shakes with distant explosions. Citizens run through the streets as starfighters roar overhead, not separatist droids, but something else. Mandalorian ships, freighters turned into gunships, a patchwork armada forged in the shadows. At the center of it all is the sun. The ancient being moves through the temple courtyard like a storm. His saber carves through Jedi defenders. Temple guards fall one by one. His laughter cuts sharper than any blade. He is chaos given form. Anakin arrives with Ahsoka at his side, Obi-Wan and Yoda close behind. They step into the ruined courtyard, the air thick with smoke and ash. The sun turns, eyes blazing. You think you defeated me, Chosen One? You've only delayed the inevitable. Balance is an illusion. Chaos is the truth of the galaxy. Anakin grips the Mortis dagger. If balance is an illusion, then so are you. The duel begins, not in silence, but in screams. Mandalorians descend on jetpacks, blasters spitting fire. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan leap into their ranks, blades flashing as they clear a path. Yoda dances between bolts of energy, his saber spinning in emerald arcs. But Anakin keeps his eyes on the sun. Their blades clash, blue against red, the sound of thunder in the night. Each strike shakes the earth. The sun is stronger than ever, his power fed by every Jedi he cuts down, every scream that echoes through the halls. But Anakin doesn't yield. This time, he isn't just fighting for himself, he's fighting for the galaxy that Mortis showed him, the one that would burn if he failed. The battle rages through the temple. Halls crack and statues collapse as they clash from chamber to chamber. Every corner holds another ambush, another burst of fire and smoke. The Jedi fight with everything they have. Dooku himself appears in the chaos, blade crossing with Maul in a deadly rematch. Lightning flashes as Sith and Jedi duel among the ruins. But at the heart of it, the true battle is Anakin versus the sun. The dark being slams him through a wall, rubble raining down. "You can't escape me, I am you. I am the rage you hide, the fear you bury." Anakin stumbles to his feet, blade sparking. "Maybe you are, but you're not all of me." The sun roars, striking again. Their sabers lock, red and blue sparking between them. For a moment, the sun seems unstoppable. His strength crushes Anakin's guard. His darkness gnaws at his resolve. But then, voices echo in the Force. Padme's laughter, Ahsoka's loyalty, Obi-Wan's faith, the father's warning, the daughter's compassion. Balance. Anakin breathes deep. The fear eases, the rage subsides, and with clarity, he drives the dagger forward. The sun gasps, eyes wide as the blade pierces his chest. His form flickers, shadow unraveling into starlight. This is not the end. His voice fades into nothing as his body dissolves into smoke. Silence follows. The battlefield grows still. Mandalorians scattered, their leader gone. Maul retreats into the shadows, broken and furious. Dooku vanishes into the smoke, his loyalties uncertain. And the Jedi, bloodied but alive, gather in the ruins of their home. Anakin stands at the center, the dagger still in his hand. His body trembles, but his eyes are steady. He has defeated the sun, not by rage, not by fear, but by balance. In the days that follow, the Republic rebuilds again. Palpatine is gone, the Separatists crumble, the sun is no more. For the first time in years, there is real peace. But peace doesn't mean perfection. The Jedi still carry scars. The Senate still wavers. The galaxy still bleeds. And Anakin? He has changed forever. The Council gathers to debate his place. Is he still a Jedi? Is he something more? Some whisper he has become what the Father once was, a steward of balance, beyond the Order, beyond the Sith. Anakin doesn't care for titles. He returns to the people, helping rebuild, guiding them not as a general, not as a chosen savior, but as a man who understands what both light and dark can do. Ahsoka stays by his side, helping him bridge the gap between the Order and the galaxy. Obi-Wan watches from a distance, proud but wary, knowing Anakin's path is one no Jedi has walked before. And deep down, Anakin knows the truth. Balance is not a destination, it's a choice made every day. Years pass. The Republic reforms into something better, smaller, more fragile but freer. The Jedi Order changes too, less rigid, more human. And though war scars never truly fade, hope grows. Anakin never forgets Mortis. The visions, the father's training, the son's temptation, the daughter's sacrifice. He carries all of it with him, a reminder of what could have been and what was narrowly avoided. When he looks at Padme, when he holds his children in his arms, he feels the weight of destiny. He knows that without Mortis, without those memories, he would have become something else, something terrible. But the father didn't erase his memories. And because of that, Anakin Skywalker remained himself. Not Vader, not a monster, but the man who truly brought balance. That's the story of what might have happened if the father hadn't erased Anakin's memories on Mortis. A galaxy where Sidious was exposed, where the sun tried to claim victory, and where Anakin finally chose balance over fear. What do you think would have happened in this alternate timeline? Would Anakin have been able to hold that balance forever? Or would the darkness eventually find its way back? One thing's certain, the galaxy far, far away is full of endless possibilities. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more explorations of Star Wars what-ifs. And as always, may the Force be with you.